Hi, welcome back to China Mist Bonsai Pottery. I thought today I would video something a little bit different rather than pots and things like that. Some of you may know what this is. It's called a Pugmill, and the way it works is by compressing clay that may be scrap clay or well, really scrap clay or anything that I'm not going to be using, because what it does when I've got the wet clay, put it into the hopper at the top, any shape or form. Once the machine's on, it's noisy so I won't do it just yet. I pull this down, as you can see, the metal plate there will press the clay down into the hopper. It goes through the tube, and I will empty this in a minute and show you, through there and out into a coil. I also have some fixings which are pretty useful to change the shape and the size of the coil. If I'm building coil pots, ready-made coils really work well. So basically that's what it does. It pushes it through and empties it. Great weather that we're having at the moment. It's sunshine, really hot. The problem with that is I've not used the Pugmill for a month. Guess what happens? Here's one I made earlier. Inside of that, the clay goes hard. Absolutely rock solid. The reason I'm showing you this now is because I have to take the Pugmill to pieces, or take the top off and clean it out. It's not a brilliant job to have to do, but I did this yesterday. So I just thought I'd show you inside the Pugmill. You can hear how noisy it actually is when it's on. So that's the kind of noise we're working. Pulling it down and the coil of clay would come out at the other side. I have already, for speed, taken the nuts off the bottom of these, just so we know where we're at, so you can have a look. The top comes off in one piece. There we go. And inside, as you can now see, there are a couple of moisture retaining strips. It is a mess. I will just put it on once more. So that would have been the hopper. The clay goes in, it squashes into there. This helps it to force the clay all the way out. So the more I add into there, the more that would come out the other end. Like I said earlier in the video, this in here, absolutely ram solid. So I have taken it out. What I'm going to do is clean a little bit more of this out. I won't video that because it might be a little bit boring, or more boring than this maybe. I will then fill the hopper back up, and towards the end of the video you can have a look in terms of how this works. But for now I just thought a little bit of behind the scenes of some other machinery that's often used in a pottery. Not everybody has one of these, and as you can see it's quite a beast, and it does help me to speed up things when I'm making them. Okay, so I've now fixed the top back onto the Pugmill. I've made sure that these, obviously the nuts and the bolts, the bolts and the nuts are completely tight, because I don't want any movement at all in this top piece. So we're all ready to go. We're ready to fill it up again. You can see that everything down there is empty. So if I were to turn it on, hopefully you can see the pod going around. That is empty of clay, but you get the idea of what would happen if clay was put into there. You can also see at the end of the Pugmill where the clay comes out that it's completely empty again. So down there is where the clay is going to come out. So I am putting in clay into the top of the hopper. The whirly thing, the thread, pushes it out and it will come out here. Before I demonstrate sticking the clay back in there, it is all ready, but I wanted to explain where this clay comes from. This is different to what I'd showed you before. It's slightly soft, obviously it's got moisture in it, as opposed to the clay which I showed you earlier, which was completely solid. It's in bits. You can see there it's not concrete, but it's just laid out on pieces of wood. You can start to see already some of it is drying out. Hopefully you can see a colour difference. This clay literally will break, it's brittle, it snaps. So it's the scraps from the Pugmill, it's scraps from making oval pots on the bench. It's obviously scraps as well from the wheel. You do end up with lots and lots of bits that I keep and throw. So the good thing about pottery, it's sustainable and you can reuse everything. So all of this old stuff, anything dry, you know, I won't do it now, it goes into a bucket of water. Literally goes in there. It will absorb, literally like it's a sponge at this stage, and it will turn into what we call slip. This is a little bit more runny than what you would expect. All us potters tend to keep a tub of slip. Whilst we're working, we use this for, it's like the glue. It basically is glue for fixing things together. You can get creative with slip if you want, but it's there. So this stuff, this old stuff goes in the water, absorbs it, it creates almost what you would find at the bottom of a river, I guess. I then drain the water off, literally take it out of these buckets and dry it out on plaster of Paris flat bats and all sorts of stuff. I then take it off that plaster of Paris. At that point it's reasonably malleable. I'll wedge it on here, which is slicing it, changing its position around so that it's all mixing back up again. I'll knead it. It's at that point then I will take it and put it through the Pugmill. So this is a little bit noisy, but I'm about to fill this. Normally it would be always full, but as I said earlier, I did make a bit of a cock up with it and I didn't use it enough. So I'm now going to literally fill it. You can start to see just the lumps of clay. It is really soft, which is how I want it to be. So prepare for the noise. I'll talk over it. You might be able to hear me, you might not. We'll find out. So the clay's gone in. Any size lump, doesn't really matter. I just try to throw it in, press it down. At some point, it will start to come out the end. What we'll do then, we'll grab it when it does. You need a bit of force with this sometimes, so it goes. I don't know if you can hear a thing I'm saying. Obviously I ain't going to trap your finger. Sometimes I'll add water to this clay. Sometimes I will add water to this clay, especially if I want a really soft mix, so I can control to an extent the amount of clay I put in and how much it's going to be. Whether it's suitable enough for throwing or whether it's suitable enough just for slab building. Some point soon you'll start to see. That's all the old stuff. And I will now add some water to it. Make sure I'm keeping it soft. So, what we've got, as you can probably see, I can keep this going for quite some time. There, we've got a lump of clay which effectively is now usable. What I would normally do at this point is take these and knead them over there on the bench. I did explain earlier that I have some smaller versions of this, so I can effectively get a 1-inch coil as well, which is really useful. But usually I will take these, and in order to start wedging them, I will. The only reason I'm doing this is because you get them nicely put together from there, there and there, which will then enable me, if I just move out of the way to dry a little bit more, with these lumps together, I can now start to knead the clay. It is still hard. It's probably not usable for demonstration purposes only. So this is when people think potters don't work hard. Here's the manual stuff. This is the things that really keep you fit. I'll just do a couple of these for demonstration purposes. Often referred to as the sheep's head is this. That's the kind of shape you're looking for when you're manually kneading the clay. So I will continue with this at another time and carry on. But effectively that's the Pugmill filled again. There's a little process that you've just seen. A lot of kneadings to be done, especially when I'm doing quite a few lumps of clay through there. And we're ready to start building pots again. If you like this video, hopefully there's a subscribe button down there, which is a red one. It doesn't cost you to subscribe. It means you'll see all my videos that I put on. I've got some random stuff, and I've got some pot building, and I've got some kiln reveals. But this is a behind the scenes shot focusing on the Pugmill. Thanks for watching. Cheers.